So one of the main features that this template has is some inbuilt styles. Styles are sets of formatting instructions that you can easily apply to different parts of the text. Normally you would use the style gallery on the home ribbon. If you're not using very many styles, you can just pop up there and select particular ones. If you're using this a lot, and you will be in a long document like a dissertation, then it's much better to use the little dialogue launcher that's down in this bottom right hand corner of the styles gallery there. That will bring up your styles pane, and you can see all of the styles rather than having to keep going to the drop down list up here to get things. It's easier if you work with this docked to the side of the screen rather than it being a floating pane like it is when you first bring it down. So to dock it to the side of the screen, if you drag on the word styles and push it to the side of the screen, it looks like you're pushing it right off the edge, and then suddenly it will dock and will be fixed to the side of the screen, which makes it a little bit easier to use. By default, it just shows the names of the styles. If you want it to show what they look like they do in the styles gallery at the top there, then you can use the show preview option to change that. The negative thing about doing that is that you will still have to scroll to find some of your styles. So I prefer to leave that just on the names, just for ease of use. Now, the first important style to talk about is the normal style. This is the default style for the body text within your document. You can see when I've got an insert point or a selection in that main part of the body of the document, then the normal style is selected in the styles palette. The normal style is set to be Calibri 11, 1.5 line spacing. It also has a non-justified right-hand margin, which is better for accessibility of your document for people with visual impairments. If your supervisor wants you to change this, some supervisors are quite traditional and prefer to use a font like Times New Roman or Arial, and they may want you to use double line spacing, then there is instructions in the guidance document for how to edit and modify the normal style. I'm not going to do it in this document because it will mean I then have to also make changes to the styles for some of my heading styles as well to make the spacing work correctly. But instructions on how to do that and what you need to set those to is all in that guidance document. Just to point out very briefly that if you do need to edit something in your normal style, you can just right click on the style name in the styles pane and choose modify. You've then got the option of various things like your fonts, your line spacing, and you can easily use this format button down the bottom left hand corner to go and change other paragraph settings and things like that. I'm not going to do that. So that's your normal style, and most of the text in your document will use that. The other important styles are the heading styles. So we can see here that we've already got, if I click into the Chapter 1 Education bit, this is already set to Heading 1. Heading 1 will automatically put the word chapter and a number in front of the heading, and it will automatically start it on a new page. Beneath that, I have got another heading. Now, at the moment, this is just in normal style, and I want to make this heading 2. So all I need to do is put an insert point anywhere in the text, and then click on heading 2 over on the styles pane. And we can see there that this has automatically put the numbering in because we chose the numbered template. If you'd chosen and downloaded the unnumbered template, then this would just change the text font and size. If I scroll down the document, you'll see there are several headings here. Now, this is only chapter 1 that still needs these setting. The other chapters in the document have already had this done. Now, sometimes I've got some headings that may need to be subheads. If I want to have a subheading of heading 2, then I make that heading 3. And you can see that that has changed the numbering now to 1.2.1. Scroll down again, this is another subheading, so that's another heading 3, 1.2.2. And I can work through the document choosing these. The text underneath the images here is going to be captions, so I'm not making those headings. Got a table in here. I'm just working down this. Whenever it's a subheading, I'm making it heading 3, and if it's a normal heading, I'm making it heading 2. Now, obviously, normally when you're writing, you're doing this as you're going along, so you don't need to work through the whole document. Unless you're applying this template to an existing document, you will need to then go through and do it as I'm doing, going through each of the headings. Okay, nearly there. Okay, so that's all of the headings in this document set with their appropriate styles. When you are using headings like this, it could be that a navigation pane appears down the left-hand side of your document. This doesn't happen every time. If it doesn't happen, then if you go to the View ribbon, you can just click the navigation pane option, and you can see that anything that's had the heading styles applied to it has now appeared in this navigation pane, and you can quickly move around the document by just clicking on the appropriate headings. You can collapse particular chapters, so you don't need to see everything within a particular chapter, and you can just expand those again if you need to do that. If you are working on a Mac, then it may originally default to show them as pages like this. You just need to click on the headings option to switch it back to be seeing the headings. Now, there are some other heading styles in this document that we preset for you. Notice in the styles pane that we have a heading back matter and a heading front matter heading. If I just scroll back up to, say, the abstract of the document, you'll notice that that is using heading front matter. This is exactly the same formatting as the heading 1 style, but it is using the, it doesn't have the numbers. So that's what that's for. Heading back matter is for your appendix or appendices. So use those if you don't want the heading to be numbered, but you still want it to appear in your table of contents. Other useful styles that are preset are the table text style. If I go back to the document, can't remember where the table was, here it is. So because normal style is set to have 1.5 line spacing, it can look a little bit odd in your table. So don't worry that this is going on to 2 pages, we're going to sort that out a little bit later. But if I first of all just select the whole table by clicking on the selector in the top left hand corner there, then I can set this to be table text. And table text is just a little tiny bit smaller, just a single point smaller, and it also has single line spacing, which just makes your table look a little bit more normal. The other useful style is the quotation style. So if you've got a long quotation that you want to have in a paragraph of its own, then you can see this one here. If I just click somewhere into that where it says this is a quotation, this is a quotation, and I can click on my quote style, and it automatically switches that to single line spacing. It indents it from the left and the right. I think I've got another one of those. Yes, there it is. So I can do the same there, just to make that into a quote. So those are the styles that are already set into the document, and if you use those, then you're going to get a consistent document and you're going to be able to populate your table of contents. The other bonus of using styles is that you can update your table of contents. If I move back up to that, I can click into the table, and at the very top you will see the option to update table. I get two options, either to update the page numbers only. This is useful if you've just been changing the formatting things a little bit on parts of your document and you're not sure if it's pushed things onto other pages. Or you can update entire table. This is what you need to do if you've added extra headings and things like that. That's the one we need to choose here. When I click OK, keep an eye on the Chapter 1 section of the table, and you'll see the extra headings that we created earlier when we applied the styles are now appearing in the table of contents.